Alright. It's kind of working. Alright.
Bluetooth mode.
Alright. Hey, everybody. Yes. Hey, I'm Mike Coppolino. And I look like I smell. Yeah, I look like drugs. Anyways, I'm going to turn off the lights. I'm in the Mutiny Café. I'm doing a comedy album called Jokes with Schizophrenics. This is going to be the 33rd practice session of the comedy album Jokes with Schizophrenics. I'm actually testing the sound right now before I get started. The stage is like pure anarchy. Like, you can move the chairs and tables wherever you want if you are a audience member or potential audience member. Or you can leave them as they are. It's great cover. Okay, and I'm going to turn off the lights and get this thing started. Alright. Is it official? Yeah, it's official. Alright. Alright. I'd like to start with some impressions. These are my impressions of cynical resignation. But they were already recorded, so we got that out of the way. Alright. I should get started with something. Something funny. This is actually something organized in a way. There's a spotlight on me. There's like a table where like people or victims can like sit. It's stand-up comedy. If you want to like be a victim of stand-up comedy, I'm doing like stand-up comedy. But you don't have to sit at a table this close. That'd be like really annoying. Now it's recording for an album. So, but yeah. I could do like cocktail jokes. I could do like love boat jokes, like for cruise ships. I have those jokes, corny jokes. Would you like to hear corny jokes?
Sure.
Corny jokes. All right. So hey everybody, I'm Mike Coppolino, and if you're like me, you get PTSD from being yourself. All right. Oh, where was I going? Oh, I was talking to my financial planner the other day because I'm a homeless building superintendent. Anyways, after going over the books, we decided my best option for retirement would be to take enough drugs to hallucinate a condominium. Best financial plan, that's what he said. That way, I could sell the condominium, and I could buy more drugs, and I could hallucinate a 3-bedroom house with a swimming pool. Seems like a great plan, right? Great. Only trouble is, every time I meet this financial planner, we do all the drugs, and his office is still a coffee shop. Alright. That was close, right? That was close to being a joke. Alright. So people keep telling me I live in a bad neighborhood because I built it myself. Thank you. Alright. Classic jokes. We do a classic joke. Alright. So Durex, it's like midnight now. I guess talk about this. Durex just came out with a condom that enhances male sensitivity. I saw it on the commercial. Finally, right? Yeah. For added protection, each condom is wrapped in its own little apology note. All right. Classic jokes. Let me think about it. So me and my girlfriend got into a huge argument because we're Italian. And it was terrible. You know how Italians argue? I was sitting on the toilet, 6:30 in the morning with a magazine, preparing to go to work, and she kicks the door in. Like she's been saving up for an argument, 6:30 in the morning, full energy. And she starts waving a dead electric razor in my face. Starts waving it around my face. I knew it was dead. I wasn't threatened because she was telling me it was dead. That was her complaint. And there was a thick hair in there. And she was blaming me for using her tools. She said, I broke it. And I said, that's not my fault. Maybe your hairs are thickening up. And then we got into an awful argument. It was like the most Italian argument ever. Because it was just all about pubic hair. And we just chased each other around the house for like 15 minutes, just yelling at each other. And it was stupid. It was stupid because we're in love. And she knows everything about me. She knows everything about me, my whole life. We share everything. And she knows I don't use the tools to shave myself because I have a phobia. Like any red-blooded American, I'm afraid of spinning blades near my junk. Spinning blades. And oscillating heads, interchangeable heads on these tools. Plus they're made in China, and they're made out of plastic, and they could be a horrible accident. Because I know how thick my hairs are, and I've seen a bunch of Clive Barker movies. Because I know it could just explode. And I've seen Hellraiser. It could just, oh, Jesus wept. And it'd be entirely my fault. So I don't do that. And she should know. You know? She knows. Because I'm a man. You know, I'm a real man. Like any real man, I manscape. You know? But I do it with a lighter.
Alright, I gotta go.
All
That
right.
was good though.
Thank you.
All right. That was all right.
Thank you. I liked them. I did.
I have albums. If you'd like to listen to one.
Okay.
Do you have a phone?
Yeah.
All right. Here, I'll give you this. Do a show here every second Saturday with 5 comics. And hold on one second. I'll give you one of these. It's a joke book.
Thank you.
It has links to the album.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. Enjoy.
What's your name?
Mike.
Mike?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll remember you, Mike.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Hey, have a good night.
You too.
All right. Oh, that's part of an album. Oh, that was nice. All right. All right. These are the sounds of cynical resignation. I've been trying to do that as a joke, as an imitation, but it's actually an artistic form. All right. See? All right. Let's start with jokes. I don't know if you're like me, but sometimes I make people look up things in their phones to avoid talking to them. Nobody ever does that, but I do. Because people do it to me. People do it to me, you know? I'll be sitting at a coffee shop, and this guy, a sober alcoholic, like he works on like ships or something, or like varnishes things, will come up to me and start waving his phone in my face and start wanting to show me a skateboarding trick because he's like old now and has bad knees. But he has to show me all the stuff he used to do. And all these people show up and they're waving this stuff in my face. My eyes are bad. So I can't see what they're doing. I don't even want to know. So whenever they do that, I just give them questions like that they might want to be interested in, you know? Like somebody waves like a fucking cute kitten in my face. I say, hey, I don't know. You ever wonder if they schedule executions for April 1st? Like, did you ever wonder that? Because, you know, it's like an accepted holiday, but maybe not really all that much. It might not really come into question when it comes to laws. I mean, the law might get in the way of that. Like, but can you imagine that? Like, getting scheduled for an execution on April 1st? Like, people would just be fucking with you the whole time. I mean, you know, it'd be horrible. you keep waiting for a stay of execution, and they keep telling you there was one, but they still like keep doing like the whole protocol. Like there would be no respect on like that day, April 1st, like getting executed. They just like keep doing it to you, you know? They give you like a last meal. You know, but they say, hey, you get 2 last meals, you know? I don't know. What would I be thinking about? I mean, imagine that you just strap to the chair and they start like injecting you with the death drugs. And you start screaming and say, hey, why are you screaming? We're just injecting you with tap water. That's like horrible. On April 1st. No, quit your screaming. Get up. Get out of your chair. Go back to your house where you got sentenced to. Yeah, that would be just like, that's a terrible joke. I mean, I don't even know why I say it. But I say it to get recorded because, like, I don't know, I want to start with how evil I am when I'm doing a recording. Man. So anyways, people say the hardest thing about being in the Illuminati is pretending you're not at the meetings. It's actually not true. The hardest thing about being in the Illuminati is cashing the checks because they're imaginary. Oh, thank you. Alright. I'm going to put this in the recording pocket and just talk like a schizophrenic, which is what I seem to be. Alright. Alright. This whole theme is like cynical resignation. It's like a whole room of it. It's great. Alright. I can't even use a microphone. I actually have to have this thing, which is $17. It's $17. You could like be annoying at like barbecues. That's actually great though. It's one of the greatest things ever. It's like technology. It actually can record stuff on a chip, which I don't use because I don't feel it's pure enough. Alright. Oh, hello. I'm sorry, but I'm just telling jokes. Where am I at right now? Anyways. So, we've done the like recorded session, the unrecorded session. I should just start telling the jokes I usually tell. Here's the thing. I'm usually doing street comedy. I actually record on the streets a bunch of albums or routines or I don't know. I usually just practice. What I'm doing is like practice sessions for a ultimate comedy album, which will be the 42nd session of this recording. What I'm on right now is the 33rd session of a comedy album called Jokes for Schizophrenics. Jokes for Schizophrenics. And Jokes for Schizophrenics is a collection of albums that I do on the street where nobody listens except for people who hear the sound of my PA system and think their medication isn't working. Those are the only people that stop because they're scared. They actually think they're like going through the old times again, even though they're fully medicated by their doctors. They think this is what the world is like now. This is what it used to be like. And then they just cling to telephone poles and parking meters, and they stare at me. And like they're trapped. And I can't do anything about it. I have to keep talking. I can't just be silent then because then they'll stab me or something. You know, I can't blow my cover. So I have to just talk to them like normal human beings until they can move along and be like cured of this thing. But that's the audience I get. And they interact with me. And that's always interesting, kind of. But that's like the whole thing. That's like 33 albums like that. And then this one isn't even a real album. Because it's like I'm just bothering people. It's like I have a spotlight on me. I set up the chairs in an anarchic manner. I actually had people just staring at me from like 3 feet away for 8 minutes, like being entertained. And I invited them in to be entertained. So they weren't even preparing for that. And they actually hung around for 8 minutes. And were like, I don't know, what was that? Apologetic? No, one person was interested, one person wasn't. So that's 50% of an audience. I wasn't even prepared for a comedy show. That's like that's pretty good, like, it's a pretty good take. But I should really tell jokes. I should start doing that now. Alright. Oh, there was a piano player here. I want to tell some jokes about the piano player. Yeah, jokes that the guy would understand. Because he was a really good piano player. Because he was playing a piano that was out of tune. Like he was playing classic songs on an out-of-tune piano. And getting the sound right. Like getting the tone right. And he was like working at it. You could see him doing it, thinking about it. And so he played for like 20 minutes. And that was awesome. But I didn't record any of that. But I wanted to talk to him about a musical joke. Because I have a musical family. I actually have a very crazy family. That are into music but can't play it. They can't play music, they just listen to it. But they listen to it very well, and they enjoy it, but they're very critical. All of them. And some of them are very good players. But they doubt themselves. Anyways, this guy was playing the piano, and I want to talk to him about my Uncle Artie, who is also a piano player. But my Uncle Artie was also the most Italian person I'd ever met. And I didn't meet him for very long, but I was very impressed. Because he had an IROC. He had an IROC. And he had a reflective jacket. My Uncle Artie had a reflective jacket. And he wanted to look like Mario Andretti. And he was very, very Italian. Like super Italian. Like whenever he went to a church, he wore a tracksuit to church. He wore a tracksuit to church, and it wasn't because like it was a style or anything. He wore a tracksuit because the priest would make him jog in place when he said a rosary. Because he sweat a lot. He was Italian. Anyways, in 1971, my Uncle Artie bought a piano for his mother. He bought a baby grand piano for her, and he had it installed in the house where his mother lived, and he paid for everything. And he had that piano, and he bought it fresh, but the only trouble was, whenever he played the piano, he thought it was out of tune, and it was a new baby grand piano. He was playing it. He just kept thinking, oh, this piano is out of tune. And it was for his mother, you know. So he called a bunch of piano tuners. And it was like 1971 in New York. This is when people like had honor and stuff. And the piano tuners would work on his piano. And the thing was, it was a new piano. So it was actually perfectly in tune. It was just a perfectly tuned piano. It was a perfectly tuned instrument. But my Uncle Artie was insane. So he didn't know what a piano actually sounded like. He didn't know what tuning was because he was insane. But he also was Italian, so he was super angry. So all he did was bring these piano tuners in his house, and he would just chase them out of the house after a day because his piano still sounded like shit. All right? So he got 3 piano tuners. He got 3 successive piano tuners. Finally, the third one was the best piano tuner in New York City in 1971. It was an old man. Walked into my uncle's house, played the piano for 5 minutes, and said, "This piano is tuned perfectly. Perfect." And my Uncle Artie got super pissed off at him for not even charging him money. Just chased him out of the house. And then he dragged a baby grand piano through the back door of his house. By hand. He was so fucking pissed off, he dragged it through his fucking house, through the back door, put it in his fucking driveway, and started chopping it up with an axe.
Why?
Because he was pissed. He's fucking Italian.
Oh, he's a mafia.
He's super Italian. Yeah, we think he was in the mafia. Nobody knows. Nobody talks about it.
He's chopping someone. No, he's in the
He was chopping up this fucking piano, and it wasn't even a fucking axe, it was a hatchet. It was a hand hatchet. He took 4 hours to chop up an entire baby grand piano into kindling. 4 fucking hours.
Okay, so what do you do afterwards?
Yeah, nothing. All the Puerto Ricans in the neighborhood just stopped dancing for like 3 days.
What the fuck? Puerto Ricans stopped dancing for 3 days.
That's the joke.
So he was.
I'm sorry, man. I'm telling a joke. That was a joke.
So he lives in a Puerto Rican city. He was going
These are Italians. Italians and Puerto Ricans are in the same city. It's
This
Brooklyn.
motherfucker's fucking cutting up piano.
Yes. Yes.
Oh my god. That was funny. Okay, another one.
Oh, God. All right. Oh, all right. All right. So people are afraid of clowns.
No,
They
I
are.
am. Something like
hold on.
nature is.
Naturist?
No.
Oh, wait.
I'm
All right.
afraid of clowns. I'm
No. Here's the thing. I do know a lot about nature. I know all about the animal kingdom. We'll get to it then.
Okay.
I know a bunch of clowns. I know like circus folk.
I'm scared then.
But nature, right? Nature.
Yeah, nature.
I'll tell you what I do sometimes. Sometimes I go to aquariums.
Why?
I go to aquariums because I want to ask people if dolphins get venereal disease. That's what I do. I ask people if dolphins get venereal disease because I want them to look it up.
What's your
Because I don't have a flip phone. I can't look it up. I can't find out these things. But I want to know. Do dolphins get venereal disease? Because they're in salt water.
Do they?
Yeah, I don't know.
Okay.
No, that's why I asked. You could look it up.
I don't know. Do they? That's what I'm asking you since you asked.
No.
Oh, okay.
Well, yes. Technically they do.
I mean, I would
I found
suppose
that,
they do.
well, pilot whales, they get genital warts.
I mean, anything that's,
That's something I found out by asking people.
anything that's in the sea, I'm sure it gets some like the sea.
No, but it's salt water. They're in salt water. It's like,
That's
it's
true,
all
that's true.
washing it all the time. Plus it's salt water.
Okay, but it has to be warm
Wait,
water.
I want to hear his story.
What? I'm fully developed. I know I have a theory.
Questions.
I have a theory, all right?
Okay, but it has to be warm water with salt.
No, it doesn't matter.
Doesn't
Here's
matter.
why.
Okay.
They're dolphins, all right? The dolphins. What do you know about dolphins?
I don't know shit about that.
They're smart.
Are they really?
They're fucking smart. They're smart, as smart as humans, possibly smarter.
Oh, fuck me.
And they have their own languages. All right? But here's the thing. Once dolphins were little rats.
Can I video this?
Yes. Once dolphins were little rats. All right? 80 million years ago, there were rats running around the beach. But they were smart. All right? They were smart rats. And because they were smart, they were doing a lot of recreational fucking.
Oh, fuck me.
Recreational fucking, because like, yeah, this is like the greatest thing in the world. You know, they're fucking like rats. They're all happy. They're all great, you know? But they were doing so much fucking, they ended up getting a lot of venereal disease. All right? And it was like horrible. It was like burning. It was terrible. And they said, I don't know what to do. I don't know how to fix this. But they were near a convenient body of water. Because they're on the beach.
Salt water.
Yeah, salt water. It didn't matter because the burning was terrible. They say, "Oh, there's this body of water here. Let me just jump in the water, see if this like solves this problem. See if it cools me off." So these rats go into the ocean, and it's a lot better. Like there's no more burning. Oh, this burning is done. You know, there's no more. They don't know what venereal disease is.
So they said, fuck it, let's stay in the ocean.
Yeah, they said let's stay in the ocean. And then 80 million years later, and we have dolphins.
That makes sense.
It's a valid theory.
That's some chronic shit right there.
All right.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay, hit me with the clown one, because I'm afraid of clowns.
You are afraid of clowns,
I am
right?
afraid of clowns.
Well, I was an agent for clowns.
Holy shit.
I was a talent agent for clowns.
All right, go.
All right. I had a friend. Now, he was into construction. And he did high-end construction for a lot of rich people in San Diego.
Yeah.
All right. And he was working for some French clients. He had French clients. And they had an architect and everything. They were building a custom house. But the thing is, their grandfather was coming in from the old country. And he's old. He's 68.
But whose grandfather? The clown's grandfather or the
The French people.
The
The French people.
okay.
The French people. All right. And the thing was, when French people get old, they start getting super artistic and creative because they're planning their funerals.
That's true.
That's what they do. They blow all their money on funerals.
Yeah.
And what they do is they get more and more existential. They start getting more and more fucked up dreams about what this whole funeral should look like. And usually they hire a bunch of clowns.
Fuck me. What
Depending on how existential they are.
True.
This is
Like,
true.
If I Google it right
Yeah,
now.
you can find out.
That's pretty fucked up, though. What the
It's
fuck?
a thing. It's like it's
Wait,
very
can we-
existential.
Can we wait until
And-
I find out?
Yeah. This is what I do. No, I don't really
Shut
do
the
it.
fuck up. Hold on.
Yeah.
No,
This is like a thing
so
that
if
happens.
we pause the story and I
Yeah.
Google it, I'll find out.
Yeah, you'll find out. Because actually, the French
I'm
people
bronze.
actually do this.
Yes?
Yes. Well, you can
I
Google it and
believe
find
him. I
out.
believe him. There's
Okay,
some-
wait, we have
No,
to
no, hold
pause
on,
it
hold on.
because then I'm not gonna be into that
No,
story
it's
that
just-
much.
You can find out it's not
But
true.
If you tell me
You can
like,
find out it's not true, or you can find out it's true.
it's fiction story, then I'll
It might be real.
No, it's because French
might.
people.
It might be
French,
real.
No, listen. French people are fucked up in the head. Real time.
They do hire clowns for
But
funerals.
like if it's an idea, like if a
No. This is how I make
You do
money.
your research.
No, this is how I make money. That's the only people that actually pay money for clowns. And party people. The people that pay money for... You know, like clown... You know how much a clown makes? Do you know how much a clown makes for one gig? $300. $300 is standard to show up at a house for 2 hours to 4 hours. Little kids or adults.
Okay, let me finish the story. Okay, so they hire clowns.
This is what I know because I'm a clown agent. I'm inside.
Okay,
All right, I'm inside.
Okay,
All right?
They hire
Yeah.
clowns. Okay.
They hire clowns.
this guy doesn't know. I get it now.
You
Shut
get
the
it.
fuck up. I'm
It-
scared of clowns.
Yeah, they are. And the thing is, clowns were once popular because people are scared of clowns now. So it's hard to find real clowns.
Friendly clowns, I'll say that.
Real clowns. I'll tell you this because I had to search because I was instantly a clown agent. My friend told me to do this because I was a comedian. He said, you know a bunch of clowns because he knew a clown, but the clown was under house arrest
Shit.
because
The French people.
no. That he was trying to hire a clown, but his clown,
Who was trying? The French people?
my friend
Your
who was working to build the house for the French people.
Okay.
All right, my friend wanted me to find a clown because his clown was out of business.
And you're the agent, so you would
I'm
find
an agent now because I get a commission.
and you get to find them, right?
Right. So I started looking. I instantly became a clown agent. It's on a task. I was
so you
unemployed.
were before that.
No, I was unemployed.
Okay.
I was just sleeping on the guy's couch. I said, all right, I'll be a clown agent. I'll look it up. I know some friends. I know a guy that sticks meat skewers through his fucking cheeks for money. I know that guy.
Money, I'll do
You know,
anything too.
all those people, the 10 and 1 people that stick the fucking thing through their nose, the blockheads, and the blockheads.
Okay, I'll do it too.
All that, yeah. I know people that'll eat a dirty sock
Oh, shit.
For money.
for money,
Toes.
for beer,
Some girls.
for beer.
Some girls, sexy ass toes. They send
Yeah.
pics for money.
It's true.
I paid. Fuck it.
You would
Sorry.
pay. You would pay for that?
Sexy toes.
How much would you pay for sexy toes?
$20.
$10.
$20?
Yeah.
$10.
It's like $3.99 anywhere else.
But
Yeah.
I mean,
And
if you
you can
got,
get a subscription to it.
Bro, they good.
I mean, really.
but it's not the
I know what you're
quality-
saying.
Quality.
Shut the fuck up.
I
Can
was.
just-
I'm in the business. I know.
Hey,
I know.
I want to finish the clown story. Shut up.
All right. Anyways, where was I at? All right. Anyways, I'm an agent for clowns,
Uh-huh.
so I had to go look. I found this clown, Flutterby, a patchwork clown. You know, to wear the patches and everything. The whole suit is made of patches. She has makeup on and everything, the hat, and some balloons, and she makes balloon animals. I found her. It was $300. Then I found a clown that threw knives and played ukulele. through a friend. And she was $500, but she was super hot. All right.
I'll pay that extra.
Exactly. But she threw knives too. And she's a feminist. She's a feminist, all right? Also, I found a bunch of feminist clowns. I found a bunch of feminist clowns. There's a whole gaggle of feminist clowns in LA. And they don't wear any makeup.
Yikes. I like that better, natural.
They don't, no.
I like natural better.
Yeah, well, they just wear big sunglasses. They're clowns. They're also clowns. They have to be clowns, all right?
Yeah.
They're also $300.
I know what he's talking about. Yeah.
So I had,
Sexy.
Shut
No
up.
makeup,
I know
I
what
might
you're
find
talking
that sexy.
so if you're a contractor, you have to get 3 bids, and I found 3 bids. So I went to the guy, and then my friend that puts his meat skewers through his fucking face and everything said, a clown that throws knives is no clown.
But she's hot.
Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Clown that throws knives is no clown. He said, in fact, there's like no real clowns on the West Coast. There's no real clowns on the West Coast. There's a few clowns on the East Coast. That's what he said to me. But there is one clown on the West Coast that's pretty good. And I'll give you his number. His name is Diego V.K. Baquero. Diego V.K. Baquero. Now, Diego, when he was 3 years old, his parents thought he was retarded because he had really stretchy skin. He had this super stretchy skin, and he lived in an Argentinian village. All right? So, what his parents did was made him go to like the road leading into the village and do clown shit to make money for the village. Right? He got trained to be a clown. For 3 years to 18 years, he was a clown for this village. Then he got emancipated from the village because he was like tired of being abused. And he went to Disneyland, immediately became the lead clown at Disneyland. For 12 years. He's the lead clown at Disneyland. And then he got involved in a disreputable circus called Circus Vargas. And he was a ringmaster in Circus Vargas for another 15 years. Made a ton of money. Alright? Diego V.K. Baquero. You can look him up. He's actually a real guy.
I'm kind of tired now.
Don't.
All right.
Okay, yeah, go.
Alright.
Wait.
Shut up, no. Stop.
Alright.
Respect, bro.
I'm lost. I got lost in my
I'm gonna
joke.
go to the restroom, but
All right.
and I'm gonna look around, but respect.
Alright.
Where you going?
No. I didn't tell it right. It's a joke.
It is a joke.
But I found the guy. Anyways, what he does is he shows up in a fucking Rolls Royce limousine, goes to these people's houses. He takes them in the car. They go to a fancy restaurant, all right? And for 4 hours, they eat with him, and he does a bunch of clown shit in the restaurant. Just everything clown shit. But also talks about his life as of a clown, his whole history, and he eats with them. Then they all go back into the car, go back to the house, and he gets paid. He gets paid $6,500.
Shit.
$6,500.
Shitload.
He's a real fucking clown, right?
Yeah.
But people pay for that. Anyways, I can get that guy for you. So I had that guy too. So I had 4 bids. So I went to my friend. I was all proud. I had four bids for clowns. And I told him all the options. I told him Diego V.K. Baquero. I said, all these clowns. Go talk to these French people. They have money. You know, she's a psychologist. He's an architect. They have plenty of money. So he does that. He calls me 2 days later. He says, that's too much fucking clown.
Too much calories.
Too much fucking clown. And he says, I said, well, the French, did they touch your balls when they said hello to you?
Oh shit.
How French are they? And he said, no. I said, well, they're not fucking French enough. They're not existential enough. What is he, some baker from Spain? And then they got Flutterby, the fucking patchwork clown, for $300. He actually hired that clown.
Holy shit.
And she did a half hour of balloon animals. And they paid her $300.
What the fuck?
And I got nothing because it wasn't enough.
No.
I had no commission. I just felt pity.
Just said fuck them.
That's the end of that joke. But that was it. That's the end of that.
You should have told the fuck
Well, thank you for enduring the joke.
No, I like that.
Well, here's what we do. Just so you know, we do jokes, but they're not usually that long. That was
I like that because I'm afraid of clowns, but I actually like that joke.
But here, we have a show. Every second Saturday, we have a show here. We have 5 comics.
Awesome.
So it'll be February 8th. Will be the next show.
Awesome.
So we'll do that. So you can be close up or whatever, and you can arrange the chairs, however. But this table will be floating out there.
Okay,
So there'll be more stuff.
Good. All right, sounds good.
So at midnight.
You so much.
At midnight.
Thank you so much.
Hey, thank you. Oh, what was your name?
David.
You want a book?
Yeah, I'll take one.
All right.
What's your name?
Mike Coppolino.
Mike Coppolino.
Here, I got like albums. Here, take this one. It's like a life coaching one.
Okay, I'll
It
take
has
it.
like it's nuts, and what? It has links to the album.
Okay.
So I have like 32 albums. Actually, this is the 33rd album. This is all an album you just
okay.
listen to.
Uh-huh.
So I'll be on like a thing in a little
Thank
bit.
you so much, Mike.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Hey, what's his name?
Mike.
Mike.
What was the rest?
Wait, you want to be on Insta?
Yeah, I'm already on Insta. But yeah, oh yeah, hey.
So what is it?
It's what is it? I do it's a comedy album called Jokes with Schizophrenics. This is the 33rd album
Okay, where can we find that
on YouTube.
on YouTube?
Yeah,
What's it called?
It's called Jokes with Schizophrenics. There's actually just a YouTube channel called Mike Coppolino. That's me.
Okay.
So I have like it's like a bunch of stuff. There's like 70 recordings.
Okay.
So it's like
good.
6 or 7 years of stand-up comedy.
Yeah, if we could come in contact with you through there.
Yeah, and also go to Mike at Mike's on Instagram.
Okay.
Mike at Mike's. I have no control of it because I have a flip phone. So people just send in shit.
Okay, it stopped.
But that's it.
Uh-huh.
Just do that.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you.
Was that recorded?
Yeah, it was.
So Mike at Mike's.
Yeah, the
All right.
whole thing. The whole thing was recorded.
Oh,
Got you.
very good.
Bro,
Hey,
Be in touch.
very good.
enjoy your coffee.
Yeah, and second Saturdays at midnight.
Of course.
Yeah. You got a flyer? You got? Okay, very good. All right. Have a good night. Oh God. All right, cynical resignation. That was the theme. All right, I kind of resigned myself even through the whole joke. Oh, I should do a closer though. I don't even know which coffee cup is mine. I mean, I'm on drugs. You get this, right? I do a lot of drugs. I need drugs to do normal things. And why else would I be doing this? I'm burping and like telling jokes. I had to draw 5 hits of acid just to know my taxes. Ended up claiming an astral body as a blind dependent. Alright, fine. So I was in an adult bookstore because, hey, why else would I exist? Thank you, alright. Oh, God. Where am I at? People accuse me of being a nihilist, mostly comics, and then I accuse them of getting me. I train drug-sniffing dogs for a living. I'm the bait. Thank you. Thank you very much. Oh. So I've had my trouble with cocaine. I've had trouble with coke, if you can believe it. You know, once I got so bad, I ended up going to an NA meeting. I was so strung out. I had to wave my paycheck around almost 3 minutes before I got any coke. Oh, I should forget I'm like doing what I'm doing. Right. Anyways, I could alter the sound of what I'm doing by using a coffee cup. I don't know if it's picking up as a recording because I'm moving around like this empty space. But sounds like that. I mean, the emptier the cup is, the more like interference you get. So if I was going to do like drug jokes, I could be more hallucinatory, especially if I'm outside. But I'm inside, so it's different sounds. Like, you know, there's different sounds for different rooms, right? I mean, you're comics. I mean, we did a piano joke as part of this, like, material. So you know I'm conscious of sound. But anyways, what was I thinking about? Oh yeah, but you could like do like different like drug humor with your coffee cup, or whatever you want to do. I mean, you could do different drug humor just be on different drugs. Like I'm almost out of drugs right now because I mostly smoke weed, and yeah. I mean, I mostly smoke weed. I'm not going to do mushrooms at my age. And, geez. I mean, I get heartburn just from, like, you know, eating some, like, hummus or something, you know? I'm not going to do some, like, mushrooms and ruin all that. It's like blowing out my knee for a hallucination or something. No, I don't do that. No, I do acid. I mean, I do a lot of acid. I mean, you could tell. I mean, look at this environment. I've done acid over 250 times. 250 times this year. And I still know where I am. I still know what day it is. Acid doesn't affect me. Acid does not affect me. Acid makes me sober. Like the sober you want. You know, I'm super detail oriented. Like, it's fucking great, you know? It's like sobriety. Like every time I wake up every morning, I think, oh great, the sky's exploding, you know? How should I dress? It's like the best. That's what acid is like for me, but it doesn't affect me anymore. I can just go to my dealer and say, hey, this acid isn't working. He says, yeah, right, and he sells me more acid. Like he doesn't get it, I don't get it, and yet my street name is Placebo. My street name is Placebo. It's the fucking best name, actually, you know? It's like almost like hip. Some call me Dr. Oblivion. And if you're into David Cronenberg, oh man. You know, when we talk about conspiracy theories just before, I have a conspiracy theory. I think facts are conspiring to make me look idiotic. But I like coming up with ones, you know? Like, I heard this conspiracy theory lately that fire melts steel beams. And that's the reason that's how they make steel beams. They make steel beams of fire. Yeah. It's a 9/11 conspiracy. But it turns out they don't make steel beams with fire. They don't. They make steel beams with electricity because it's hotter than fire. That's the whole process. That's the whole secret of making steel beams. So yeah, it's a conspiracy. Also, there's a conspiracy that Disneyland Star Wars are in the same park because someone powerful in Hollywood wants more kids to choke themselves in closets. That's also a conspiracy that's going on because suicidal kids demand more money. And they demand to be entertained. They demand trips to Disney World. And, you know, they're into Star Wars and Disney. Yeah, they really want to choke themselves in closets. I mean, that's what I'm saying, you know? You can't just own nostalgia, though. I mean, Disney Plus, they own nostalgia now. Like, they're accelerating nostalgia. Like, have you seen The Mandalorian? That's like an acceleration of nostalgia. Like, they have a Baby Yoda in there. It's like they're trying to manufacture the same thing over again. You know? I'm just waiting for the Darth Mandalorian. I'm waiting for the twist. I want to see where, like, Darth Vader came from. You know? It probably came from a Mandalorian. Because they all have the same helmets. I bet that's a twist, you know? Like, they didn't have special powers, and now they have special powers because they, like, deceived Yoda. And that's the whole story. That's the whole, like, twist of the Mandalorian. Because I don't have, like, fucking Disney Plus or Netflix. I have none of that. I'm actually a fucking holdout. I actually still have the free television. I still have the antenna. You know what? I have the antenna. I have the government antenna. Because I said, I don't need fucking cable. I just need free television. And then I got it, and I was defiant because it had 3 news channels. It had 3 news channels on antenna television. And then, as I was watching the news, they started trying to sell me funeral insurance. Like, the news started trying to sell me funeral insurance. Like, that was newsworthy in itself. It's the truth. Have you seen a funeral insurance commercial during the news? Have you seen a bad news channel? Free television has news channels where they actually fire the people on air. They'll actually fire a person, a weather girl, on air because, I don't know, their plastic surgery didn't work. That's what happens. You start seeing that happen. Like, they start getting shittier and shittier costumes. Like, they get bad designers. Then all of a sudden they're off the air. But they fire them on the air. They tell them, oh, this is your last day. We're sorry to see you go. And then the newscaster, the weather girl, starts complaining about how she's going to feed her children. Terrible. It's like she's going to have to do like telethons and stuff. Like, she has to have like weather channel on Facebook now. Like, that's what happens. They have to follow her on Facebook. Oh, I'm doing comedy, but this is also true. Anyways, I watch free television. I don't watch The Mandalorian anymore. I don't catch up on all that stuff. Like, I watched a movie on free television the other day because they have a movie channel. And the movie was called Lightning the White Stallion. Lightning the White Stallion. And I was watching it. It had Mickey Rooney in it. It was from 1986. And I was just, I don't know, I was bored. So I kept watching it. And finally, I just clicked on the description of the movie because they have like a digital description of it as part of this free television, and it's called Lightning the White Stallion. And the description was, a gambler loses a horse. Only one girl can ride, and that girl is slowly going blind. That was the movie. It was 1986. It's like there was a huge market for depressed teenage girls, apparently, you know, because that was the age of bulimia. Like, girls were throwing up on themselves because they had low self-esteem, you know. So they made a movie for them. It was called Lightning the White Stallion, and I was watching it. That's the kind of movie that I got to watch on free television. I get to watch it. Do you know there's a sequel for Three's Company? It's called Jack's Place. I got to watch Jack's Place. You know, free television. Oh, but people were getting bored with free television. Because, you know, there's like competition, apparently. I don't know, I guess the competition is suicide. You know. So anyways, they started putting more channels on there. And they put on a Chuck Norris channel. Like, they put on a Chuck Norris channel on free television. It was just nothing but Chuck Norris movies and John Wayne movies. All tough guy movies. And then they made a channel called the Justice Channel. A Justice Channel. It was on free television. The Justice Channel was nothing but cops. It was nothing but the show Cops. 24 hours a day, nothing but cops. And Highway Patrol. And every imitator of cops there ever was. 24 hours a day of just watching tweakers get arrested in Vegas. That was another channel. It was called the Justice Channel, ironically. But my favorite channel on free television, the newest one, is the Escape Channel. They have a channel called the Escape Channel on free television, and the Escape Channel is nothing but Dateline murder mysteries. It's nothing but Dateline. Like 24 hours of Dateline and murder investigations on the Escape Channel. It's like you're watching this show and somebody gets murdered, like right off the bat. Somebody gets murdered on the Escape Channel, all right? And then everyone talks about how stupid the murderer is for 45 minutes. And they already got him. Like, they already got the murderer. They're just waiting to see him confess. 45 minutes of that, and then they catch the murderer, and they sentence him. And that's the end of Dateline Murder Mysteries. Somebody gets murdered, and somebody gets caught. Nobody escapes. But they called it the Escape Channel. And people watch that. And there's a channel. Oh man, you gotta buy entertainment now. That's tough. I mean, there has to be free entertainment, but you also have to buy it. Oh man, but what do you buy? What do you get? I don't know. And what is this? I mean, this probably has a story. This has been enough practice, right? I mean, it's been enough. I like entertain people. And it could have been filmed, but it wasn't because of privacy. Like, you know, you just have to imagine this is happening. Anyways, that's been long enough. That's been it. I've been Mike Coppolino. You have a great night. I think this is like an album. It's like 40 minutes, but it's also a practice session because that was totally horrible at the same time. Anyways, thank you. Have a great night. All right. What is this? I have to actually find my glasses now. It's like actually like record this. My gosh. It could be my fatal flaw. It could be my fatal flaw. I could have lost my glasses. Man. Alright. This is an album of cynical desperation. It is cynical desperation. Or what is it? It's not cynical desperation. What am I imitating? I think I'm imitating sarcasm. But oh God, I haven't done enough drugs to lose my glasses. Shit. Alright. Anyways. Just means I have to look at my phone with a blurred vision. Alright. See? If you concentrate, you can get things done. That's 54 minutes. Alright, it's going to stop. It's going to record. And that's it. Have a good night. Bye, Mike Coppolino. And this has been on like Instagram and YouTube for like no reason.